Minister, I'm glad to get the opportunity here in the Chamber tonight to respectfully ask you to provide more funding for the local improvement schemes in Kerry. At the present time, we actually have 659 local improvement scheme applications and 14 community applications. That's 673 applications waiting for funding. I want to thank you, of course, for the 799,000 you gave earlier in the year, which will do just 15 roads. But that leaves a deficit of 673 roads, and at the current rate we're going, that will take up to 30 years.
Thanks, Deputy Minister.
Okay. Thank you, Deputy, and thanks for raising this issue, an issue that's close to my heart too. The local improvement scheme supports the improvement of rural roads and laneways that are not normally maintained by local authorities. As part of our rural future, the Government is committed to ensuring that the LIS is funded into the future. The scheme was reintroduced by my department in 2017 following a number of years with no dedicated funding. I am committed to improving connectivity for rural residents, whether it be access to homes, farms or outdoor amenities. Since 2017, my department has allocated almost €114 million to the scheme. This has upgraded some 3,700 non-public roads and lanes, benefiting over 16,000 landowners and residents in these rural areas. From 2017 to 2022, a total of €6.2 million was allocated to County Kerry, which saw improvement works carried out on 173 roads. This is the 5th highest allocation nationally. With each county's allocation, the prioritisation of roads for submission to my department is a matter for local authorities in line with the scheme outline. I launched the 2023 scheme in February with an increase in funding to €12 million. I also announced an additional €0.55 million for improvement works on our offshore islands. With this funding, I allocated almost €800,000 to County Kerry, bringing their allocations since 2017 to over €7 million. I will continue to monitor expenditure within my department, and should savings emerge, I will give consideration to allocating additional funding to the local improvement scheme. Indeed, I have recently asked all local authorities to inform my department as to how many more projects they could deliver this year should any such funding become available. I am committed to ensuring that a well-funded local improvement scheme remains in place in order to deliver on the commitments contained in our rural future.
Minister, I want to thank you for your reply. And yes, you are a rural minister from a rural county, and you do understand the problem that we have. And I appreciate the funding that we have got. But we must go forward, and we have 673 roads on the list. And there's something that the Department of Finance may be telling you, that these are private roads. They're not. They're public roads that weren't taken in charge by the local authority. And to qualify, you have to have 2 landholdings, at least 2 landholdings. And many of these roads have up to 20 landholdings, and maybe the same amount of houses. And you see, these are not, again I say to you, they're not private roads or laneways. They're public rights of way that were just not taken in charge by the local authority. They're used by households, farmers, service providers, including doctors and public health nurses. These people pay their motor tax, they pay their income tax, they pay their VAT and excise the same as the people in Dublin. And I say to you, Minister, the people in these roads deserve a good road to their door, the same as the people in Dublin 4.
Thank you, Deputy Minister.
Thanks, Deputy. Well, all I can say to you is, and I think you'll acknowledge this, I have been pumping the money into the local improvement schemes, 114 million over the last 5 years. And in fairness to Deputy Michael Ring, he started the ball rolling. And I do know what it's like, because I know what it's like if the milk lorry can't get in to get the milk, or the meal lorry can't get in to deliver the meal. I fully understand that. When I grew up on a farm, and I lived in a lane that was a mile long, and mind you, there was potholes in it sometimes, and you nearly get lost, bicycle and all. I explained to the officials in Deeper, just like you do, that what these local improvement schemes are, and they're not private lanes. You're dead right. There's a load of people using them. It's, and we're talking about, once-off funding. I think once-off funding could go into these lanes because you fix them, they'll last for about 15 years. And they're a good investment in rural Ireland, and I absolutely support it. And I'll be knocking the door to get more funding for the lanes. You can be sure of that now, and you'll help me.
You asked the question, see what capacity have the local authorities. Back in 2005 and 6, we did exactly 111 roads each year in County Kerry, because a certain TD was up here at the time, and he was able to cajole the ministers of the day into providing extra funding later in the year when it wasn't spent in other places. So they have the capacity to do the roads all right if we get the funding. And I say to you, Minister, some of these people are waiting since 2007. Their applications went in 2007, and because there was nothing happening, and you did right, I held on to Minister Ring inside the department for the committee. Every day I was at him to reintroduce the local improvement scheme, and I thank him for doing that. And I will always thank him, because the Department of Foreign Affairs, the Finance, had stopped the money completely going to these roads, which was totally and absolutely unfair. So I'm appealing to you, Minister, very strongly, in light of the fact that we have 673 roads remaining to be done, I ask you please for extra funding, and I will appreciate you very much, and I won't deny the credit that's due to you if you can make a case for us to get more funding at this time, because 30 years of a wait, many of us will be long dead and gone and buried and no account of us if we'll have to wait that long, Minister.
Okay, thanks. Well, I do appreciate that Kerry, it's a large county, but so too are the resources that we've allocated to it, because, as I said, since 2017, over 7 million, 5th highest allocation in the country. Now, can I just say that I have to put a call out now, and Kerry needs to put in what it's capable of doing. Yeah, and it should be noticed that Kerry had an LIS underspend in 2022, which represented almost 10% of the total allocation. So there was 145,000 didn't spend, and that's not your fault, and that's not my fault. But there should be. Yeah, you might just have a word with them, because I'd be doing the same in my county, to have a word with them if they didn't spend it. So it's like this, I'll do what I can, and also I'm not the Department of Roads, and you know that, but as I said, we try to support it, and if there's any money that's unspent in any other department, I'm happy to take it and put it in the roads. There's no doubt about that. Any underspend in roads, happy to go to the LIS schemes.
Okay,
we'll spend it.
Thank you, Minister.